Hey, Danny with the DMGT here. Got another best of 2020 video. This time we're talking our favorite tech and gadgets of the year. These are all going to be things that I got in 2020. Some of it's going to be new tech and some of it's slightly older tech that I just happened to get for the first time. Everything I talk about in this video will be linked down in the description below, so hopefully there's something that you like and you can pick that up for yourself. So with that, let's get right into it. What's a top tech video of the year if it doesn't have some flagship smartphone mentioned, right? Honestly, as pretty much every review video on the iPhone 12 Pro Max I've mentioned before, it's very much an overkill device for the vast majority of people. The biggest selling point is, surprise, the camera. But if you shoot a lot of video or take a lot of photos with your phone, this one is really good at that. I consume a large chunk of content on my phone, and HDR video looks fantastic on this phone. My smartphone has also been the only device I use to create videos, and it's honestly serving that purpose very well. The ability to shoot in 4K 10-bit HDR makes the video editing process so much more flexible, even coming from iPhone 11 Pro Max. Of course, a good camera doesn't make for good content necessarily, but this phone has certainly helped my content creation process through the later half of the year enough that it makes the list out of the gate. I'm cheating a little bit here with the 2-in-1 section, but they're very tied together. Being a video gamer and doing some casual Twitch streaming, the Elgato HD60 has helped immensely in streaming and recording console gameplay. Eventually, I'll need to upgrade to a 4K HDR model because of the PS5, but this has served its purpose perfectly in 2020. I have a gaming PC, a PS4, and now a PS5, and a Nintendo Switch. So I had to pick up an HDMI switch to be able to capture and switch, pun intended, between them seamlessly. The PlayStation and Switch go into the HDMI switch, which then goes into the Elgato HD60, and that's how I capture gameplay footage from both, as well as having the flexibility to stream either of them. These two go hand in hand and has made my life so much easier in capturing gameplay footage, so these make the list and that's why I have them together. I know the big headphone hype to close out 2020 has been primarily on the AirPods Max, but I did get the AirPods Pro for my wife this year and they have been fantastic. Admittedly, while we're not an Apple-only household, we do still have multiple Apple devices and you can't go wrong with these. The audio quality is very good for true wireless earbuds, but it's so true that the seamless transition between Apple devices and the spatial audio take these to the next level. Going from iPhone to iPad to Apple TV is insanely convenient. Price to performance, comfort, convenience, it's definitely a premium earbud, but surprisingly without the typical Apple tax that you normally see in their products. They're totally worth it if you're in a multiple Apple device ecosystem. However, if you're looking for a comparable alternative to those AirPods at a slightly cheaper price and don't have multiple Apple devices to worry about, the Jabra Elite 85Ts are where it's at. Despite really enjoying the AirPods Pro, I actually use these Jabra Elite 85Ts as my daily drivers. I upgraded from the old Jabra 65Ts, which are now an even cheaper alternative, although I'd say those compete more with the regular AirPods than the Pros. Still, the 85Ts are fantastic. The active noise cancelling, I'd argue, are just as good as the AirPods, and the sound quality, in particular the vastly improved bass, I actually like better than the AirPods Pro. 6 to 7 hours of battery life, another 20 with the case, 15-minute fast charging for an hour of playtime, and key wireless charging. You can connect up to 8 devices and 2 simultaneously. So if you're on Android or even Apple but don't have to worry about multiple Apple devices and just have your phone and say a laptop or tablet, these are going to get the job done. I know I'm really heavy on the audio here, but I really do love headphones and audio gear. Enter the Hifiman HE4XX from Drop and the shit hell. This is another 2-in-1 on purpose. Firstly, the HE4XX are my first open back planar magnetic headphones. For $180, these are possibly the best headphones I've ever had. They fit comfortably and the soundstage on these are fantastic. Obviously, there's a lot of noise leaking here due to the nature of open back design headphones, so that's something you're gonna have to keep in mind, but they're great. They have a really well-rounded sound profile, so while they aren't super bass heavy, it's still nice and tight and crisp on the high end. You can really push this with minimal distortion at the higher levels. These are primarily my headset for my PC, so I do a lot of gaming on them and they're perfect for that, especially if you play a lot of shooters or games that take advantage of intentional directional sound design. But music sounds great on these as well. Of course, you can use these without a headphone amplifier to your phone or laptop, but to really maximize them, I do recommend getting an amplifier. And that's where the shit hell comes in. While technically the hell is marketed towards gamers, it's still a great DAC amp combo in a pretty portable package for any range of headphones. The true selling point here is the power flexibility, as it has a gain switch for headphones and microphone each, so if you have something with lower sensitivity such as in-ear monitors, this is perfect for that type of setup. That was pretty much exactly my need with these Hifiman, so the audio improvement I've been getting has been perfect for my PC and gaming. If you haven't already seen my full PlayStation 5 review, I recommend doing that after this video, but naturally, I had to include a next-gen console on my top tech list of the year. Obviously, I have been lucky enough to get my hands on this since day one, and I'm really excited for what future games will be like on this one, particularly now that home consoles have finally made the move to SSD. However, the coolest part of it has to be the controller. I know, everyone talks about the controller, but it truly is a brand new experience with the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. Plus, I plan on upgrading my 5-year-old television to an HDR OLED model, and this is going to be perfect for playing any 4K HDR Blu-ray movies. It does still need a little more time for games to come out from a purely should I get it now standpoint, but from a tech standpoint, this makes the list. This one is literally nothing too fancy, but since I started taking video creation more seriously this year, this tripod with the ring light and a phone clamp have been clutch. It's literally just a very simple $30 tripod, but it has a couple of light modes that help with lighting in different rooms if needed, so it gets the job done if you can't afford to spend a ton of money on a video creation setup. I know a lot of the things on this list aren't exactly cheap, so I wanted to include this because I truly have gotten a ton of use out of this thing. It absolutely deserves to be on this list. I actually upgraded my old 2nd generation iPad Air to this new 4th Gen 1 while my 2016 MacBook Pro was out for repair. Because I record on my phone, having a separate device to do some quick thumbnail editing and reading off scripts when I'm making these videos has been very helpful. However, the biggest surprise to me was its ability to handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max HDR video editing. In fact, the last 2 videos on this channel were edited exclusively on the iPad Air, and holy cow, it actually outperforms my 4-year-old Intel MacBook Pro on that front. It's actually because of this that I'm kind of sold on Apple Silicon, so while I'm not going to upgrade to an M1 Mac just yet, I'm very much considering it now. I'm personally waiting for an update to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. The performance on this thing has just blown me away. I still do prefer Final Cut Pro and having a laptop overall as my main editing rig, so I'm not switching to full content creation on this iPad, but for on-the-fly editing and flexibility, I'm actually going to get way more usage from this new Air than ever before. If you need something portable to take some moving shots that is an upgrade from a handheld tripod or a selfie stick, a gimbal is the way to go, and I personally have the DJI Gimbal 3. The app it pairs with is packed with features to track an object, shoot panoramas, take a time-lapse, hyperlapse, and you can even custom control things like ISO, exposure, and white balance. It's a really versatile device, and I'll admit, even makes my TikToks a little bit more stable than holding and recording with my bare hands. Go follow my TikTok and the rest of the social, by the way. It's a super cool gadget that I'm getting a ton of use from, so it's one of my favorites of the year. And finally, the Keychron K2 wireless mechanical keyboard. This is the V1 model. I work a lot at my desk for the channel, the blog, and podcast, and with 2020 being almost entirely from home, I needed a good keyboard to use, but the caveat being that it had to be compatible with Mac and it had to be wireless. That's not exactly easy to find in the mechanical keyboard space, but the Keychron K2 does exactly that. By default, it comes with the Mac layout, which is nice for all the function keys that typically come with an Apple keyboard layout, but it also has alternate keys to switch to a Windows layout, which you can quickly enable by using the toggle on the left side of the keyboard. Because this is my workstation keyboard, I personally prefer tactile feedback from the Gateron brown switches, but you can also get this in reds for linear input or blues for a click input. It's also RGB backlit and the battery performance is great. I can go a couple of weeks without needing to charge it, using it full time and some more between my day job and content creating. That's my favorite tech of 2020. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched my videos in 2020, and if you're new here, I invite you to stick around. We'll be talking a lot more in 2021. Best games of 2020 is coming next, so if you enjoyed this video, again, all links are down in the description, and I'll catch you next time.